welcome to the Pravasi's talk show. I'm really excited to be here introducing an amazing and inspiring group of individuals who's upcoming with an amazing dance drama known as AnuRadha. Namaste, Ramaka, Aravinth, Priyanana, and Seema, and a warm welcome to this session. I want to really start with to express my gratitude to be part of this conversation. It's an honor to be speaking with such an accomplished individuals. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Allow to introduce myself. My name is Nikhita. I'm a disciple of Guru Shobana, and I'm currently with Temple of Finance here in Singapore. So this opportunity is more meaningful and engaging with each one of you is something that I've been looking forward for today. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhita.
Thank you.
Maybe this can be as casual, so feel free, everyone, to share your lovely experience in having to build this amazing production, Anuradha. And I'm keen to hear everyone's feeling around this amazing piece that we have come up with. So maybe I'll just start with Ramaka, as she has been the core of building this collaborative nest. So Akka, as a creative collaborator, can you please share the process that took place in creating the works with Apsara Arts itself?
So first of all, I think to be a creative collaborator with a production company, there has to be a lot of camaraderie between the dancers, the choreographers, the directors, and the creative collaborators. I think so. That is the first thing which was positive in this whole process. That this sense of trust between the two parties, which is so necessary, and that happens. And I know everybody in the Apsaras group, and Aravinth, I've been working with him for so many years. So it's really very, very nice to collaborate with people who trust you. I think that's most important. So being a creative collaborator, I think the job for me was not to get into the nitty-gritties of the choreography as such, but rather to look at the production in a very holistic manner and from a third eye. And also to help everybody in the production to understand what they're doing and keep asking questions so that they understand what they're doing in a better way. Sometimes when you answer your own questions, you understand them more. And of course, my responsibility was also to source a lot of the lyrics, because most of the lyrics in this production are in Braj Bhasha. And a lot of the text is in the Devanagari text.
Wow.
So which is not the transliterated verse. And also it was important for me to get in touch with people in Vrindavan for resource material, for discussions. So I thought I was able to contribute well on that front, and to help the whole production grow from a place of authenticity. Especially because Radha is a North Indian character. Yeah. And she used to live like literally stone's throw distance from my house, in the sense like Vrindavan and Delhi is like just 2.5 hours away. So that way I thought I was extremely happy to contribute to the production. It was very, very exciting to work with them over the conceptualization with Aravinth about the production, and even things like costumes and jewelry, and being part of the whole process was a very, very delightful experience.
I can see that there is an unsaid trust and belief in this whole journey that you have built with Apsara, and it just clearly comes out in the whole narration and what we can expect in this production too. Looking forward to that. So maybe when you discussed about exploring the resources and how it had to be a lot more built based on Radha, her nuances, her very basics, and going back to her history. Simaka, a question to you. I know that you have scripted the performance and also play the title role as Radha. What can an audience expect to experience at AnuRadha?
I think from the script angle, as Ramaka said, we actually we took texts from various poets' work. It was not intentional to cover the whole of India, but that was the journey like that was taken, and in trying to unveil the Radha character. And it is also interesting because there was only one thing that we were intentional about, like not sticking to just Jayadeva's piece of work, because yes, Jayadeva popularized Radha, but there were so many other poets who have actually written so beautifully. And one of the texts that Ramaka actually picked from Surdas actually led us to our conclusion, because there was this idea that Radha is connected with Krishna. They share a bond, but what is this bond? It's not romantic love. It's not a devotee and God love. It can't be named, sort of thing, right? And then suddenly we emerge at this point that we realize that she's a goddess, because it's not just she who's drawn to Krishna, but Krishna too is drawn to Radha, because she has that level of magnetism. She's
Mm.
able to just pull him with her eye. Of course, the audience will be taken through this journey of the milkmaid turned goddess. In fact, I don't want to say where and how, because then I'll be accused of revealing too many spoilers. But for me, I think essaying the role of Radha was actually challenging, because the character actually undergoes a range of emotions. She is representative of the Jivatma, right? And so because of that, from the beginning, you have to show that innocent bliss, and then disappointment, and that progresses to jealousy, anger, and then a whole churn that she experiences before she's then at peace with herself, and all of this within like a short 75 minutes. So it wasn't easy, but I can say that the team, the whole team that's put it together, Ramaka, Priyan, they've all made it easier and more comfortable. And I think I'm actually truly blessed to have worked with such an incredible team, because I think we've actually through it was work in progress. Everyone was actually just contributing so organically that the work actually, everyone can say that they own a little bit of this piece of work. At this point, I also wanted to talk about the fact that this particular production, it was my first time working with Kathak, like in the production. And very often when we see two dance styles come together, it may seem really forced, or you can see the dichotomy. But just like how Radha and Krishna have like no dichotomy, we weren't able to actually see the difference between the Kathak and the Bharatanatyam, because the Kathak sort of very fluidly flowed into the production. Shivangi actually does the role of a Kathakar, which is unique, which is a characteristic of the Kathak tradition. So she tells the story of Radha. To keep it authentic, we've kept it in the Bridge Bash. So I think all of that sort of I think it just seamlessly happened.
That's great. Thank you so much, Seema, for sharing that. Since you mentioned the choreography and coming together of two very different forms of style, Priyanana, this is for you. From a choreography perspective, right, the collaboration between two art forms must have been very intricate. So, how did you ensure both styles complemented each other in telling Radha's story while preserving their individual authenticity?
So first of all, when we had the opportunity to work with Ramaka, I think I was very, very excited because I see the Bharatanatyam evolution happening in her work and in her approach to dance. And and Radha is, as rightfully said, like she hails from North India, and of course we need to have we for a longer time we wanted to have a Kathak element in our production because we are a Bharatanatyam dance company, and so on. This AnuRadha actually gave a gateway to bring in that element into our production. Um, and because of the authenticity of the lyrics, authenticity of the narrative itself, I think it paved the way to like introduce Kathak. And as Bharatanatyam, we know it's evolved art form that has imbibed so many genre of music and poetry. and Bharatanatyam does not have any boundaries till today. So I mean, it was very easy for us to like gel both the forms in terms of the poetry that connected, and the persona of Radha, the character itself that connected these two art form. Mainly, when we were workshopping, we were closer to Vrindavan, but we were in Delhi at Ramaka's place when we started off this entire process. Ramaka is kind of, I mean, she has worked a lot within the literature, and she's known for bringing unknown known on stage. And like every time when we see her performance, oh, does this poetry even existed? Oh, okay. And we get to learn more about her performances. And she is someone well versed with so many literature. And for us, I mean, she had the book, the Ashtapadi book, and she went through the line by line, word to word meaning, and she made us connect more to the lyrics, which made us understand and go closer to the characters, I would say. And as a dancers, as a Bharatanatyam dancers, we have worked on our Bharatanatyam, as in Bharatanatyam repertoire, we have worked on Ashtapadis, and we have worked on other composition. But the Ashtapadi comes here as a whole chunk to, as part of telling the story of Radha. And we have a way of doing Ashtapadi, but how are we going to dealt it in this production? So Ramaka kind of created a choreographic designs that can Ashtapadi also can look into different lens without losing it authenticity, without losing it intention. The Ashtapadi also kind of like gave the design of it beautifully connected to like to tell the story of Radha. I mean, Bharatanatyam today, I mean, we innovate so much in dance, but without, like going away from Bharatanatyam boundaries and adhering to the core principles. And we are into the form itself, but how certain poetry, when you have different elements, how these possibilities actually allow the dancers to think differently. So that's what the whole production is all about. And though it's like 90 minutes, and but you see the innovation, but adhering to our core principles, which is Bharatanatyam technique and maybe the Kathak genre. It's very much true to the authenticity, but all the different innovation, different ideas. I mean, coming to tell a story. I mean, this is kind of a unique experience. I mean, for me, it's like mind blower. It's like learning about Ashtapadi in different angle, and learning about even some of the Kathak. I mean, even Kathak dancer also had a lot of opportunity delving into this production. How she can further develop Kathak just by working in this production. So to talk about the choreography, it's very tough, because it's an hours of conversation. Sometimes like there are ideas were born in the recording studio. Sometimes like Ramaka will listen to this, and suddenly she'll have a spark, and then then we should do that. Like it happens spontaneously. Even
Yeah.
certain things when we were choreographing and designing the choreographic process, and certain things like we kind of tweaked a bit. So therefore we had to go back to the studio and get certain things altered and certain things added. So yeah, it's been like an exciting journey working on the choreography for AnuRadha.
Wow.
So
That's
I just want to say something about the choreography. How Priyan has pushed boundaries to create and to explore explore new vocabulary in movement, and he's done that so beautifully, so seamlessly in the production. And the movements that he's created for the Sakhi, the movements that he's created for Radha, for himself as Krishna, I was really amazed to see how detailing he's gone into to look into each and every small movement. Because choreography is all about getting into the minutest of details, not just doing some broad movement. If you really want to tell a story, you have to tell a story in a very, very meticulous manner. So I was really amazed to see the incredible way in which Priyan had explored the Bharatanatyam vocabulary and also created new vocabulary for this particular work, but all within the Bharatanatyam medium.
So we are giving birth to a whole new world in this production. Okay, I can see that that's coming to
Yeah.
be that's amazing. I'm hearing Priyanana sharing about how it has transpired and brought in a lot of different worlds together into this one ecosystem. Ramaka, how was you visioning this? What was your vision that was your core and was keeping you grounded to that one focus of Anuradha?
So for me, it was supporting Arvind's vision, because Anuradha is Arvind's vision. So it was conceptualized inside his mind, inside his heart. And for me, my job was to support him and to make his vision as my vision, and also see how his vision can be enhanced in better ways. How can we bring in more, like I said, the word authenticity to the whole production? So for me, I aligned my vision to Arvind's vision and just supported it. Of course, gave my ideas, which he very graciously took and incorporated. And so it was very, very nice. It
Yeah.
was, it was, it was sometimes, when you choreograph yourself, you are your own visionary, you are your own choreographer, you structure the whole
Yeah.
program yourself. So this was very fresh for me. It was very liberating for me to support somebody else's vision, but in a manner how you would have done it. How you would have done it, how you would have seen it, but still supporting his vision.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting and quite liberating for me.
I can see that's one mind speaking over here. Everyone is coming to that one common thread that is holding each one character together. So maybe I'm gonna bring in the other, amazing artists that we have involved in this production. So Aravinth, to you, how did you manage the process of collaborating with such diverse and talented teams? I know Bombay Jayashree ma'am is part of this. We have our Kathak artist who is part of this. So how was the process of that collaboration? And what was the dynamic that, like, working with these choreographers, dancers, musicians, that you would envision that brings to life?
So I think it's a very good question, and I think Rama already addressed it in an opening in this talk today, where she talks about trust and mutual respect and camaraderie. So everyone in this project, even the musicians, we go a long way. So I think there's ideology a match to start with, right? So Bombay Jayashree has been working with me and Apsaras for a while now, off and on, not as regular as Rama, but so we understand her aesthetics. She understands our aesthetics because first of all, that ideology must be in common. If not, you cannot work together. So, and also just like how Rama is a stone throw away from Brindavan, Jayashree kind of is so familiar with all this literature and lyrics and poetry, and she must was much clued on as well on this topic as well. So it was quite easy for us to actually try to transcend these boundaries between dance and music. And interestingly, for this production, didn't need somebody like me to sit down and give a brief to in a detailed brief to Jayashree, say we want this, we want this, we want this, because she could already visualize what we were trying to do. So it's actually a huge boon that we got a musician, a composer who could already visualize what we wanted to bring to the table. So it was quite a very smooth process. And the fact because of a vocabulary of music is so broad, she knows Hindustani music as well. She understands Hindustani ragas in their authentic, form. So she was able to breathe this different musical score into the lyrics that we were brought. And because of the nature, like how Rama said, Radha is from North India. So for a change, we have used a lot of North Indian sounds for this music. So Bombay Jayashree has brought in Sarod, she has brought in Sarangi, even the Rhea Shanghai is performing, and of course lot of tabla. So this has actually created a different kind of a soundscape and a different aesthetic experience to the whole production. And we were also very lucky to have fantastic musicians who have actually lent. I mean, they are all stars on their own right. So we have a star-studded orchestra who has performed. And also Sai Shravanam, who has also worked with me for more than 20 years, has also worked with Bombay Jayashree for many years. So he has come in to actually direct the music and arrange the music so that it can be recorded the way we want. And he understands dance quite well. And even though we worked with him for 20 years, he's a preferred tablist for A.R. Rahman, but this is the first time he has played tabla for us.
Wow.
So yeah, so you will see his tabla right through the way. And we have a very good team of musicians who have sung. So we have 4 vocalists who have lent their beautiful voices to the production. And then we also have Rama, who has recited all the kavits.
Wow.
So you will hear all the Kathak kavits are recited by Rama. And in fact, she actually commissioned some of the kavits to be written by Abhimanyu Lal and Gitanjali Lal, who have helped her. But she has recited it, and one will wonder, does she really a Bharatanatyam dancer or is she a Kathak dancer? Because so authentic, she has recited the kavits. So this is the kind of music that has come together. So as Rama said in the beginning, we don't know where it starts and where it ends, because it is a combination of everybody coming together. And like Seema says, everybody can claim I own this part of the production because everybody has contributed. And just to add to Rama, I mean, she was very gracious to accept somebody's vision and take it forward. Very rarely highly sought after a choreographer dancer would actually take on that responsibility, because they would like to do their own thing, because Rama is very gracious in that. And she made it her own, and not say, oh, you ask me, I tell you. No, she made it her own. And we had so many discussions, and one beautiful thing is we didn't have to agree to disagree, because what I was thinking in the head, she would say, and what she was thinking in the head, I would say, and we'd say, hey, we both thinking the same. So it was a very good exercise. And for this time, we didn't choreograph in isolation. So the team was all together. We in fact went to Delhi and crashed into her studio. We lived AnuRadha in her studio. So I think everybody had a chance to work together and think together. And Rama also graciously came and joined the music composing and recording session with Bombay Jayashree, so we could work with her. So she even she could interact with each of the vocalists as they were singing to come out with what we want to bring. So in that way, it's a combination, and for audience it's going to be something lovely, because for us it's something new. Though we are doing a lot of productions, this is something very new.
Oh my God, this is already music to my ears. I mean, I can only imagine Bombay Jayashree ma'am's voice, Ramaka now also being part of that, star-studded orchestra, who's putting her heart and mind and voice into this. Looking forward to how that is going to come out in the production. Maybe now we're just discussing about a few of the nuances of the production itself. Seema, just to you, right? You are playing the key character of Radha. How did you prepare to convey the nuances of her evolution from the Gopi to a goddess through the dance?
I think there was a very simple message that Ramaka said to me every time. In fact, just before I went on stage, she said the same thing. Just tell the story. She kept saying that because I think the story itself is laden with the emotion, with the message, with everything that the audience needs conveyed. So if you tell the story, if you go in without, I mean, I think more than thinking about the character, more than thinking about the movement, more than thinking about like everything else, dancing with abandon was something that I actually learned in this process, and letting the story lead the entire production, because I think all of it flowed that way. And I don't think that Radha was lead in this, because there were so many. You will see that everyone who appears on stage will have their moment And everyone, in fact, yesterday as we were practicing, I noticed that every single character have their entry moment, their moment that they appear, and it's very like obvious to the audience that, oh, this is this particular character. So I think everyone has that moment to shine on stage. And so it's not like a regular production where you actually have one lead character and everybody dancing around them. I think everyone actually, because it's the story that actually takes predominance here. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it goes back to where Ramaka is saying that even you were mentioning how Radha magnates Krishna in this. It's just not usually Krishna is the spotlight for every story that we have seen and danced. And here it's just refreshing to know that everyone gets a chance to shine, and it's very unheard and unseen of. That's amazing.
Yeah, because I also want to say that Arvind's choice of characters was spot on, because Seema she's the naughty one of the group. So, and you can imagine Radha to be very, very precocious and, fun loving, and but at the same time having this deep devotion for Krishna. So I think Arvind's characterization was really good, and every Seema as Radha and Devapriya as Sakhi and Priyan as Krishna, and like Seema mentioned, Shivangi as the Kathakar were absolutely roles, like it was as though the role was tailor made for them and for their characters and for the way they projected their dance. It was really spot on.
Amazing. Priyanana, I'm just curious to know. I mean, you're bringing in such amazing artists. There's Shivangi Akka, there's Seema Akka, who's very predominant in their own styles. Were there any moments that you, during any of the sequences in the production, that you felt difficult to execute that vision or that story, or how do we interpret?
And not at all, because last 12 years I've been working with them, I've been dancing with them. Though I perform solo, I predominantly perform a group as well. So I've been dancing with all these talented dancers. So we kind of hear our heartbeats more often. So it was very easy for us to even translate, even the choreography process, even when we were learning, when we were rehearsing. There are a lot of things that we shared, a lot of tips that we shared, and we kind of mutually respected each other's space, and we all knew that we are coming together to tell a story. So that was very much in our mind for all of us. And for me also, like, though that there are many elements in the production, but we are kind of showing the evolution of the love, from Sringara Bhakti to, like Mathura Bhakti, uh, how a love can be elevated at the end, and what is the love a message that can tell the audience, right? So I mean, it was very seamless. The process was very seamless, and luckily we had our own characters to play. And when we have a situation where we come together, and it was very seamless actually. Yeah, I didn't find any difficulties in coming together. Yeah.
Speaks about the one heart again. I'm pretty sure it is going to come out in the production all of together. I would say if it's one word description of the experience you have had building this amazing production, what would that be? Ramaka, maybe with you.
I think I used the word liberating. I would use it again.
I can totally relate to that. How about you, Simaka?
For me, it was elevating.
Oh, each experience speaks. Arvindana?
I think for me it's compassion, because we had so much of it's a story of love, but we have so much of prema that we shared amongst all of us, and we were very compassionate to the poets, what they wanted to say. We were compassionate to the musicians, and we were compassionate to each other. So I think compassion comes out, prema comes out in a big way, and that's Radha actually. So we were actually experiencing Radha, because Radha can be considered as an emotion. There is also a theory that she's not a real person, she was an emotion. Then we all experienced that emotion together.
Amazing.
And
Priyanana?
love. I think without love, there is no emotions, right? I mean, in any relationship, I think that the love is the connector
Yeah.
that leads our way. In many facets, the love had been a bigger role in this production, and the love has different emotions, in various situations. I think love is something so beautiful. I mean, that's the spotlight on this production. Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is that by the end of the production, each one of us, our love, respect, knowledge of Radha
Yeah.
grew to absolute different heights.
Gosh.
I think that was, I think, that is always the objective of a production, right? To realize something within you. And I think each one of us realized who Radha is. And I think that is what the production does for the audience also.
On that note itself, Aka, I want to. Was there any nuance or anything that revealed about Radha, the character herself, that as an audience or as a dancer or as us choreographers were very not familiar in all our time? And was there any revelation that you came across through this process?
I think, I mean, we'll be giving out too much of the production.
Okay, you may give out
Yeah.
The
So,
danger is
that.
people will listen to this conversation and say, "Oh, we already know AnuRadha." So,
Uh, then
yeah.
I would say then that's a must watch then that to realize that Radha can be an interpretation of Anuradha that's coming onto the
yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I must say that the audience is in for very different anecdotes about Radha.
Ah.
I mean, she did Ras Leela with Krishna, everybody knows. She got angry at Krishna, everybody knows. You know, but some anecdotes, extremely interesting anecdotes that come out in this production.
I'm very curious. So we're bringing in a lot of languages also in this production, right? And the musical composition is so much in depth. How did you approach the melding of these different traditions into one of those cohesive musical experience that we are looking forward to?
So that's where Bombay Jayashree had done a wonderful job. So we wouldn't feel the shift from an Utukada's composition on Radha to a Surdas composition or to a Jayadeva Sashtapadi. It just flows freely from one to another. And that's the power of music where she has brought together. So that is a kind of the glue that is stitching everything together, because it's for to be performed, to be danced. So I think that objective is there, and I think is brought together. And so one wouldn't feel the shift of the different thing, because the poems of the poets that we have all chosen for this show all had a similar intention and a similar kind of a meditative intention of what they wanted to say about Radha. So it actually all came. In fact, we got so much of wealth of poetry that we couldn't do it. We'll end up doing a 5-hour show. So we had to do the bad job of editing and remove many places, because then it'll be a too long show. So yes, I mean, that was a huge discovery, that there's so much of wealth of information and poetry on Radha, beautifully sung, and I mean, beautifully composed. And then we have now made it sung, and some are recited as kavits as well. They are also very beautiful kavits.
Wow. I mean, hearing the world that's coming into this production, the music, the choreography, the inspiration, the vision, I wouldn't mind a 5-hour show, to be honest. But said that, thank you so much for sharing this. I mean, this has been quite an eye-opening for me personally itself to understand the nuances of a production and the investment that each individual has put in, especially for Anuradha, how Aravinth Anna has visioned and Aravinth Anna and Priyan Anna has visioned this, and Ramaka supporting that vision to bring out light through the artists like Seema and our rest of the artists. It is just pure magic that we can expect in Anuradha. So looking forward to the production, excited and wishing you all the very best. I'm hoping to see you all. I'm myself gonna be there, first row, first show, definitely catching that. Thank you
Thank
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
you
you,
so
Nikita,
much.
and thank you to Pravasi for organizing this talk. I think this is the first time, right, Rama, we are sharing how the production was made. So I think it's
That's
a
true.
very
Yes.
interesting conversation for us too. So thank you for having this
My
session.
pleasure. It's our pleasure, definitely.